Hazbin Hotel isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Hello, everybody. My name is Liquid Games, and welcome to my review of Hazbin Hotel, created by Vivy Pop and was on, what was it, Prime? I don't know. Uh, I have a lot of notes here to go through, and I just want to quickly get into it. It'll be a lot of rambling, a lot of all over the place, but it's my concise overall view and feelings on the show. First off, I just want to say I'm going to try and separate art from the artist here. I know that the creator of Vivy Pop has been in a lot of drama, and I'm just going to step back from that, and I'm just going to view the show as it is and what it's trying to deliver on. Uh, whole art from artist thing. First off, one of the good things about the show is, oh my god, did the VAs absolutely eat these roles? Oh my god. Keith fucking David as Husker. Oh, it's crazy the amount of range this guy has. Like, he has such an iconic, deep voice. And, I mean, I couldn't help but hear Spawn. But, man, he has some singing chops on him, too. Like, oh, my God. It kind of reminds me of Hugh Jackman. Of, like, how Hugh Jackman can go from screaming really loud as Wolverine and then go go sing on Broadway. It's awesome. What was it, Blake? I think his name is Roman Blake, the guy who voices Angel Dust. Oh my god, he does so good as Angel Dust. He does so good as Angel Dust. Um, I honestly really preferred the new VAs to the old ones because I don't remember a lot of the pilot. I watched the pilot back in 2019, maybe 2020. I don't fucking remember. And after that, I never really paid any attention. I heard about Hell of a Boss. I watched a little bit of it, but I was still looking forward to Hazbin Hotel. I watched it and I was like, I can't wait for the show to come out. I can't. And now it's out. And if it fell flat on its face or if it soared, we'll get to it. Um, as for getting some minor gripes out of the way, the swearing isn't actually that bad. It genuinely is not that bad. People just think that it's as bad as it is. Though I will say, from the clips that I've seen of Hell of a Boss, it's way worse. There's so much more swearing. But, like, literally there's an entire gimmick in South Park about having an entire episode about how often you could swear on live television. Like, it's not that bad. It literally isn't. There are some people that was like, oh, I'm going to start swearing less now. I'm like, oh, grow the fuck up. It is not that bad because, one, the denizens of hell, like, you expect them to have clean mouths? What? Two, if you notice, everyone that swears are either from hell or bad people, like Adam. Like, they're the only ones that are swearing like sailors. It's to show that they're just fucking pieces of shit. um, and I know that I'm also swearing a lot in this, and it is ironic, I know, but it makes sense of why they're swearing so much. Also, it's an adult animation, so being really lenient with it makes sense. One thing that I want to bring up before I get in any deeper into it, I know it was like a big piece of drama that happened, and that was having to do with Alistair and how apparently Alistair was POC, but his design didn't reflect that. My view on that is apparently he was supposed to be Creole and also black, so it makes sense that as a dead corpse, he is not really dark. He's kind of pale gray, um, and so on. It would be cool to have other aspects in those designs, but when you look at the rest of the denizens of hell of people that were alive, none of their ethnicities shine through. None of their, like, who they were, except for if they were maybe male, female, masculine, feminine, or whatever, really comes through. Like, Angel Dust was a full-on fucking dude, right? He was like a male prostitute. And look at him now, he's a furry fucking spider. Like, it's kind of, or did he overdose? I forget the lore on him, but one of my own personal gripes that has to do with Alucard's presentation is I don't understand why he has a like a Wendigo skinwalker motif going on. I get it. eats deers and he's a cannibal, like kind of like a light cannibal. So that connection to obviously a spiritual thing that has to do with cannibalism makes sense. But whenever he also has clear influences or at least visual motifs of, well, New Orleans, and New Orleans had I'm pretty sure it was a big Haitian population that had voodoo, that he has voodoo motifs. And so it's, I guess it's just a visual thing. But moving on and actually talking about the whole voodoo thing, I get why people are upset about taking influences and especially just applying them willy-nilly to a closed religion. I'm of the opinion that you can use something even if it's closed off as long as you respect it. And there was really nothing from Alistair that showed it was any disrespect outside of it just being used in general. Like, at most, it was always ever used as just a general magic rune kind of motif. So I understand why people can be upset about that, but it can kind of be forgiven in my opinion. At least at the current state that we've seen it being used. Let's see, moving on. Alright, here's a mixed list of my pros and cons. Adamine, the first villain, was really funny. Poeticism. I know there are complaints about him being like a white dude, and especially not being like darker skinned, especially where the Bible was written. But I forgive it because he's clearly trying to be the stereotype of the white fuckboy. So him being this white dude with a soul patch and the fucking 2000s like spiked hair and the piercings, he's like, oh, I'm Mr. Dick. Like, clearly I understood where the creation was coming from with Adam, and I find it's very funny. I have in my notes here, the Bible fandom is in shambles over Peter being blonde hair, blue eyed. But again, it is parody. I understand that people that enjoy, this is going to sound really weird, both Christians who just outright don't want to watch it, and then Christians that do enjoy it and watch it, and then people that just enjoy the Bible as a piece of media and fiction, because there are those out there, are really upset that Peter, a very complex figure, is just a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude. And again, it's kind of parody. So yeah, taking a very popular character and then just boiling him down to, oh, well, he's just a yes man. Kind of funny, especially because it's an adult animation thing. And seeing as how what they did with Adam, who is also a complex, not really complex, but a pretty deep character, being turned into a fuckboy, makes sense. There's a lot of Latino and Hispanic sounding voices and influences, and obviously it makes sense with Vivy Pop's background, and there is nothing wrong with that. I have it in here in my notes because it is really funny how often it is, because in my mind, it's giving the impression that Latin America is fucked when they die. They are all going to hell with the amount of population that are like Latino and Hispanic. But here's another one. The story is honestly really rushed. This will be another point that I get onto later, that it flies by. Like, the first 8 episodes, I was going to be like, okay, this is 8 episodes, or is there going to be more episodes? But by the time I finished, I was like, well, there can't be 8 more episodes. There can't. I genuinely believe that it would have worked way better as like a 10 to 12 episode series, because there are just weeks that fly by, months in fact that just fly by. There's 172 days until the like new extermination happens, and it just flies by immediately, and it's really jarring to like watch it and then have it be like, yeah, Sir Pinchas has been here for like 3 weeks now. I'm like, whoa, what? You just caught him trying to steal shit for Vox, and now he's like already here and everything is fine. It's weird. I'll get on to a little bit more later. I really enjoyed the the conflict and like the idea of what it was trying to go for. The overarching framework of stop heaven from killing off sinners because maybe sinners can be absolved of their sins, with the context of sinners being complex people and not just straight psychopathic killers, within the framework of the show is very interesting. I mean, if you're bad enough to end up in hell, then I don't know if you're going to be able to get absolved. But there is the nuance there that if you even commit a sin, even partially, and I know that was like a big criticism that people have always had, but like, well, if you just commit a single small sin, you're going to eternally rot in hell. If that's what they're going for, I think that's an excellent like idea to shine for in Hazbin Hotel, of showing characters that are basically good people that just maybe fucking drank drank on a Sunday or something, and now they're eternally damned to hellfire. So, yeah, the animation wasn't as fluid as the pilot. There were moments where it was very fluid, and it was noticeably fluid, where parts are just like, and then it's like, whoa, it's like super fluid. It was very noticeable, and I can definitely see where a lot of the animators didn't have time to finish. Well, obviously they finished, but like they were definitely crunching. Uh, I think that this, let's see. Oh, and another thing, the songs are great. I love the songs in this, like, in this musical. It's kind of weird that it's a musical, but I really enjoyed it. I've been listening to Poison on repeat along with Greatest Hell's Greatest Dad, I think it was. Like they are, both those songs are such bangers. They are so good. Um, I guess if you want to take away anything from this show, the songs can be really, really good. Keith David has amazing singing voice, like I've already said. And Roman Blake just fucking nails the songs with Angel Dust, especially Poison. As I've already mentioned, it is such a great look. It's such a great look into all these characters. And speaking of characters, Lucifer is a good interpretation. I really enjoy this interpretation of the of Satan, of the fallen star, the fallen angel himself, because too often do you see the stoic guy. And funny enough, I kind of saw myself in him because he's just kind of a shithead. So I really enjoyed watching him. He's just so like nonchalant, and it makes sense, especially from a certain interpretation of the character from like Dante's Inferno, or you know, biblical text and scripture. So yeah, one of the things I didn't really like is Charlie can be a bit green at sometimes. Like she's a bit too naive. I'm like, dude, you've lived in hell your entire life. How are you this green? I get it. It's an endearing part of your personality, but there are moments where she just fucking snaps. So if they do it right, it can show the complexity of her character where she wants to force herself to feel this way. But in reality, she is still the daughter of Satan, of Lucifer. Angel Dust, probably my favorite character in the entire show so far. And I remember I really liked him. I really liked him in the pilot. I distinctly remember really liking him in the pilot. But seeing his entire storyline through the 8 episodes is so good and super compelling. I made a tweet on Twitter about it. But it's so nice to see just as a story, and it's both entertaining and heart-wrenching, and I really did enjoy it, because it feels real. The animation and the emotion in both the character acting in the animation and the character acting in the voice acting is just sells the idea that this guy is just haunted and he's putting on a mask and all these other things, and like, yeah, he's probably a hypersexual freak that just walks around, not like freak as in bad, but you know what I mean, that's addicted to drugs, but also a guy that is disassociating and trying to disappear, as the song says. Husker, I feel like his character was kind of changed for Keith David. Like, from what I remember of Husker in the pilot, he's kind of like a flustered kind of guy. Um, he was stoic, but like he was just like a kind of grumbling old pussycat kind of deal. But then with the new voice, it seems like he's way more upfront. He's way more like straight up like, I told you that idea was fucking bad or whatever. So with that potential being a change, or potential, or that change being a potential, I really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. Keith David, great as always. Vaggie, a bit flat. Which is a joke that they made, but I just feel like she's really one note, even after the reveal of everything that happens and of her being an like executioner. Spoilers, but this is already long enough, and if you're coming to hear my opinions, you already know spoilers. Uh, so it just still does feel a little flat, and I like her relationship with Charlie, but it just does really feel like she's just kind of the harsh one, right? Alistair, second favorite. His new voice is really enjoyable. I didn't notice it, and I really like his relationship with the others, and also the insight into the world that his character brings, especially as an overlord and as somebody that was around. I also like the mystery of him being gone for 7 years, and also that ties into the fact that Lilith was also gone or has been gone for 7 years. So I wonder where that has to go. And clearly, it's set up for something. It is obviously set up. It's not just a coincidence or something to theorize on. But yeah, super intriguing. I can't wait to see more. Nifty, she's funny. She is really funny. I thought she was a kid, but apparently she's like a full-grown adult. That's that's really funny, but also kind of weird. Pinchus, honestly, I found him kind of annoying. I just could not. My ears couldn't stand the like the constantly. Uh, but I did find his character to be compelling. I felt like the relationship with him and Cherry Bomb was forced, and it was cute, yeah, and it was one-sided, so it makes sense that it was only him infatuated, and then the whole two dicks thing, like, haha, funny, now she's interested. But other than that, he's all right. Beyond that, here are some funny things, quick little things that I noticed. Alistair's lips are perpetually in a magic smile. Adam is eating spare ribs. Emily's name is poetic since it means eager. Sarah, as in seraphim. Accurate angelology to a degree with the wheels and the Orpheum and the cherubs and the seraphim and the normal angels. Lucifer playing a fiddle. And probably went down to Georgia, which is really, really funny. A lot of people say that he's playing a violin, which technically he is, but in the case of him playing it, the devil, it would be a fiddle. Mimsy's mention of Alistair as a doll, or acting like a doll, whenever Jazz is playing with Rye as a reference to the Axemen, and, the bars being lively during the Axemen murders. Plenty of other small references to theology and just general referencing to characters. As for remaining gripes, I'm going to read off verbatim here. I have with the show what I've already said. Fuck, I cannot read. Okay, whatever. Now, the show is genuinely entertaining. Like, there are parts where it is really funny. It can be too fast paced at times, but there's one genuine gripe that I have, and that is with the action. I'm not going to say that the action needs to be like some fucking anime or anything like that, but for a show that puts emphasis on a hierarchy of power, both influence and actual straight demonic strength and power, into a hierarchy, as well as putting emphasis on fighting the oncoming extermination and there being constant conflicts between demons in hell, the fight scenes kind of suck. They're stiff. They're kind of comedic, one note, haha, punch, and it's done. And it's never really drawn out. The longest I can, the one that I can really think of is Vaggie versus Corleone, and how it was kind of dragged out with the song. But other than that, with all these characters that clearly have magic, clearly have supernatural powers, you would imagine that there would be more interactions of straight fighting to show how strong the characters are. And I'm not wanting it to be too serious, but it just makes sense. There are some serious pacing issues. Speaking of, like, there could have been episodes of straight filler of just having new people coming to the basically like mimsy plots throughout the entire 8 episodes of people coming to the hotel and then it failing and then it being wrapped up in the same episode while the main A plot continues through the rest of the 8 episodes. Uh, like just for additional B or C plots would have been good. My overall sentiment for the show is that it has a lot of potential. It genuinely does. Again, art from the artist. It has a lot of potential to be really good, and to really explore these characters and these potential themes in the world, and other things like that. I know there's been gripes with the potential, as in having to be really fast paced, like such as with Lucifer and Charlie's relationship. But that made sense. Side tangent. That made sense because like they both wanted to see each other. They both wanted to be in each other's lives. It wasn't like Lucifer was physically abusive. He was just distant and like an awkward, almost. He's kind of like a teen dad. He was distant, but he didn't really know what to do. So him showing interest in her, and then immediately having a spark made sense. But yeah, a lot of potential. And honestly, I would give it like a strong 7 out of 10. People would give it lower, 6 out of 10. But it is a very, very entertaining, and you could even say like an amazing 7 out of 10. But there are so many issues that could be fixed, and hopefully would be fixed by the time season 2 comes around. Other than that, that's all I have to say. All I have to say about Hazbin Hotel other than that is season 2, pay your fucking animators. Give them good times. Do not be a dickhead over them. You were once an indie developer, and they are now helping you bring this project to the forefront. Be nice. Goddamn. All right. Anyway, other than that, if you have any thoughts or want to talk about more in the description, or not in the description, in the comments, leave it down there. And if you want to see more, click subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. I have a Cash App down in the description if you want to donate. Even $1, everything helps. It has no benefits or anything like that, but you will get a huge, huge thank you from me in the comments if you comment that you donated. But other than that, as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Do 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 do.